as we bring you Lady Cats softball here in a tune-up game prior to the playoffs. That's right, folks. The playoff push is already set to begin next week. Plenty more on that to come, but we have a great game for you tonight between the Frisco Heritage Coyotes and your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. We'll have a full introduction in just a minute, but stay tuned. Lady Cats softball on KSST Radio is coming up. Thank you so much, James Terry. All year long, you've been on the other end as our station manager, and I appreciate it, but let me just say, well, you haven't always been in the at KSST Radio, as you were helping me out during playoff soccer, and we're excited to bring you back next week for playoff softball. But before the playoff push can begin, Lady Cat softball is here at Lady Cat Park, hosting the Frisco Heritage Coyotes, and what a great duel we've got here tonight between two starting aces that are just ready to slice and dice opponents deep into the playoffs. For your Lady Cats, it's Crimson Bryant, but on the other end, for Frisco Heritage, is Jensen Hall. And both of those pitchers stack up very well against one another, as Crimson Bryant, as many of you listeners and watchers may already know, Bryant got her 1,000th strikeout a week ago. That was in the 10-0 senior night win over Pleasant Grove. And so Bryant has just been slicing and dicing all of the batters she's been facing, and not only the 3 years she's been here for Sulphur Springs, as Coach Carrillo makes his way out to home plate to meet with the umpires, so we are getting real close to getting this one underway. Meeting him at home plate is Tim O'Brien, head coach of the Frisco Heritage Coyotes. So Bryant picking up her 1,000th strikeout just a week ago. Now, past that, she got a few more than that in that win over Pleasant Grove before the game ended, thanks to a 10-run rule victory, one of many for Lady Cats softball in district play. But then, of course, winning in big fashion, 19-0. They won on Tuesday at Liberty Isla, so just taking the Lady Lepers out back. And with that win, they clinched back-to-back undefeated district seasons. And something I talked about with Coach Carrillo was the fact that his team, unlike last year when they had that perfect district season, I mean, they celebrated like they had won it all. But this year, and I noted that to Coach Carrillo, it was a much different vibe. It was much more of a, all right, we kind of checked this box, but this is far from the last box we want to check. And he even said that. He said that Bryant and a lot of the Lady Cats that were on the varsity roster last season had a pretty foul taste in their mouth after the second round loss to Red Oak last year. And that was another Lady Cats softball team that met their end in Grand Saline. But it looks like we're going to have the announcer announcing both teams' starting lineups. The Heritage Coyotes at that visitor's dugout, all huddled up. Lady Cats at their home dugout. And Heritage probably doesn't need a whole lot of inspiration to get amped up for this one, as both of these teams are very similar. Both teams have 24 wins and 4 losses, the lone difference being that Frisco Heritage has a tie as well. Other than that, Lady Cats the exact same, 24 and 4. And as I mentioned, both teams have ace pitchers, so this could be a quickie here tonight. So both head coaches head back to their respective dugouts. For the Heritage Coyotes, it's Tim O'Brien, and for your Lady Cats, it's David Carrillo. And he just couldn't stop gushing over his team when I spoke with him yesterday afternoon heading into the playoffs. I wanted to check with him to see about playoff dates and the foe. But the thing he just kept coming back to was, hey, don't get me wrong, we love an undefeated district season, especially now, back-to-back. because that hadn't happened up until last year that Sulphur Springs was able to do that, and now 2 straight. Let's hand it over to the PA, though.
Playoff pregame for both the Frisco Heritage Coyotes and your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Congratulations for both teams making the playoffs in 2023. Introducing first will be the Frisco Heritage Coyotes. Batting first will be number 51, Jensen Hall, the pitcher. Batting second will be number 5, Anna Van Meter, the shortstop. Batting third will be number 10, Maddie Garcia, right fielder. Batting fourth, number 14, Sam Riley, the third baseman. Batting fifth, number 23, Kaylee Sweezy, the catcher. Batting sixth, number 11, Allie Crow, the center fielder. Batting seventh, number 15, Allie Luzar, the second baseman. Batting eighth, number 2, Madison Young, the left fielder. And batting ninth, number 9, Natalie Lopez, the first baseman. The Heritage Coyotes subs tonight are number 8, Al Marie Simmons. Number 17, Savannah Hunter. Number 7, Liana Quezada. Number 14, Kara Netzel. Number 13, Melanie Hall. And number 16, Bethany Luvanius. And now introducing your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Batting first, number 15, Emerson Thompson, the shortstop. Batting second, number 8, Jaden Harper, center fielder. Batting third, number 20, Reese Reagan, the first baseman. Batting fourth, number 12, Crimson Bryant, the pitcher. Batting fifth, number 18, Nicole Higgins, the left fielder. Batting sixth, number 7, Baylor Boatman, the catcher. Batting seventh, number 33, Gracie Adair, the third baseman. Batting eighth, number 6, KK Montgomery, the right fielder. And batting ninth, number 5, Abby Goldsmith, the designated player. The flex player for tonight is number 4, Kennelly Friddle, number 2, the second baseman. And the subs for tonight, number 1, Katie Johns. Number 2, Tia Nash. Number 3, Dottie Smith. Number 10, Naya Yancey. Number 14, Karis McGarry. And last but not least, number 22, Emily Adamson. Play ball.
So some technical difficulties getting the Star Spangled Banner, but just as he said, we'll be ready to play ball here between the Heritage Lady Cats and, sorry, not the Heritage Lady Cats, the Heritage Coyotes and your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Should be a fun one here tonight, as both teams trot out ace pitchers, so both teams going to be tested on both ends. The offenses going to be hard pressed to find hits against some dominant pitching, and on the other end, we'll see what those dominant pitchers can do against their respective opponents, both of which have just cruised through district play. Your Lady Cats are 24-4 heading into this one, and Frisco Heritage is just about the same. They are 24-4, just like the Lady Cats, but the difference is they have a tie. So 24-4-1, and just like your Lady Cats, they are district champions. So we're going to get to see the two pitchers facing off here early, as the Lady Cats are at home here at Lady Cat Park on Friday, April 21st.
Jensen Hall.
As a result, the Lady Cats are on defense first, so Bryant is in the circle, and she takes on leadoff batter for Frisco Heritage, their pitcher, Jensen Hall. So now we're going to get to see just how good Bryant can be here, especially now that with each passing game, the competition only ramps up. So that's something Coach Carrillo said constantly throughout our pretty long conversation, as Bryant on the first pitch delivers strike one. But he kept mentioning how, don't get me wrong, they were happy to win the district. They were happy to have an undefeated district, but the Lady Cats were not satisfied, and a pitch and ball goes through Katie John's hands. Kinley Friddle.
Up next for the Coyotes will be number 5, Anna Van Meter.
So, a leadoff hit. Jensen Hall with a single. And on the first pitch she gets, Anna Van Meter sends it back into the net. Bryant delivers one high over the zone. It'll even the count 1-1, and quickly Velasquez dishes it over to first, not wanting to let that leadoff runner, Jensen Hall, at first have any sort of room. She begins to take off. Man, she's got some long legs. Means a very long stride. Imagine stealing bases could be probably pretty easy for her at times. But Hall still at first. Van Meter facing a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch, and she sends it foul over the right field line. One, two's the count. Here's the pitch, and straight at the head. Van Meter reaches first on a hit by pitch. So now,
up next for the Coyotes,
Bryant,
10, Maddie Garza,
here in her first inning pitched, has 2 runners on and no outs. Bryant now taking on the third batter here tonight. It's Maddie Garza. Garza takes strike one. Oh, 1's the count. Bryant delivers it. Garza signals for the bunt, and she makes contact with the top of her bat, but as a result, it goes straight back into the net. It's now an 0-2 count for her, as it looks like Heritage, led by head coach Tim O'Brien, are going to try and advance a runner. No. She swings and misses on what will be her third strike, and Bryant
up next for the Coyotes,
picks up
14,
her first strikeout of the game,
Riley.
and it comes against Maddie Garza.
Number 4, sorry.
So, strikeout number 1 picked up by Bryant. She now takes on Sam Riley, the third baseman for the Coyotes. 0-1 is the count. Pitch is on its way and gets her swinging. At least on that one, that is now strike number 2. And then O'Brien, head coach for Heritage, wants to have a word with his third baseman, Sam Riley. So after a brief word with his third baseman, Riley returns to the batter's box. She's behind the count 0-2, 1 out, 2 runners on for Heritage. Here's the pitch. She does make contact, but once again, back into the net. It'll stay an 0-2 count for the third baseman. Number 4 for Heritage. Sam Riley batting cleanup, faces an 0-2 count. Here it is. Once again makes contact, but once again sends it back into the net. It's an 0-2 count now. 1 out, 2 runners on. Here's the pitch. And into the dirt. However, quickly, Velasquez recovers and hops down on it to get it back to Bryant to not allow any advancing runners. So there is a runner in scoring position at second and also at first, but the count is 0-2. Sent straight into Kinley Friddle, and Friddle cannot make the play. 1 run has turned third and heads home. Now another heads home and make that 2 runs for Heritage here in their first at-bat. Wow.
Batting next for the Coyotes, number 23, Kaylee Sweezy.
Oh my goodness, and not only that, but Sam Riley was able to get all the way to third. So an extra base hit, and now we're going to have an early conference with the infield, Bryant, and Coach Bailey Dorner. Something that I can tell you for certain, we haven't done many Lady Cats softball games, as this is only our third, but what I can tell you is that never in those 2 games, and I can't imagine Bryant had many other appearances, or rather a visit from Coach Bailey Dorner, but the Lady Cats trail 2-0 here in the first. 1 out and a runner on at third. Bryant delivers strike 1. Kaylee Sweezy now batting for Heritage. 0-1's count. Here's the pitch. Bryant delivers strike 2. So 2 straight pitches to the catcher, Kaylee Sweezy, for Heritage. And she falls behind in the count with 2 strikes. 0-2's the count. Here's the pitch. High over the zone. That rise ball just got away from her a little bit. Doing exactly as it would suggest. Rising above the zone for what'll be ball 1. It's the first ball thrown to Kaylee Sweezy. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And gets her swinging for out number 2 here in the first inning.
Up next for the Coyotes, number 11, Allie Crow.
So that is now 2 hits and 2 strikeouts for Bryan here in the first inning. She also allowed a run. And Bryant delivers strike 1. So if they can stop the bleeding here, it would do the Lady Cats a lot of justice going forward if they hope to win this warm-up playoff game. As again, can't say this too many times, but the Lady Cats trail early. They trail 2-0 here in the first inning. One pitch on the way. Swings and misses for what'll be now strike 2. Allie Crow, center fielder for Heritage, falls behind in the count. 1-2, 2 outs, a runner on at third. Here's the pitch. Another high rise ball. As my favorite broadcasting team from Hallsville would say, deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And gets her swinging. That is now a second straight strikeout, and that will retire the side. So Bryant gets 3 strikeouts in the inning, but she does give up a couple of hits and 2 runs, and now your Lady Cats trail 2-0 heading into their first at-bat in the bottom of the first. We'll be right back. Yeah. Will you zoom it in a little bit more? It's very saturated. No, it's the same. I don't know what that is. Zoom out a little bit more. There you go. Must just be perfect sunset time. Yeah, do that. James, before we come back, do we sound good on your end?
Yes, we do. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back here to Lady Cat Park, and a beautiful day, beautiful picture we've got here on our YouTube channel. So for those of you who may be listening in your cars or at home, goodness, what a concept that is, to be listening to a radio at home. But you certainly could be. But if you want to check it out, the live stream, head over to KSST Radio's YouTube channel for the live stream of tonight's game. It is our second to last sports live stream of the year, though, folks. As we have just one more. We have Wildcats baseball on Tuesday, and that's it. So just a playoff warm-up here tonight. And Wildcats baseball next Tuesday, and that's it. So Lady Cats here in their first at-bat. They trail 2-0 as a very dominant Frisco Heritage Coyote team used some excellent hitting and some timely mistakes coughed up by Sulphur Springs to get that 2-0 lead. And Jensen Hall, strikeout ace for the Coyotes. She's been pretty good this year. She has 800 strikeouts now in her career and 260 this season. Bryant has 243, but she did surpass 1,000 strikeouts. Bryant, however, was struggled a bit in that first inning, as this is no doubt the best competition she has faced since the team last lost. That was to Bullard prior to district play, and Jensen Hall walks Emerson Thompson.
Cats be number 8, Jaden Harper.
Hall didn't like all the calls outside the zone, but in this instance, who might argue? So Hall now takes on Jaden Harper, center fielder, and Thompson starts to lead off, and very quick reaction there from Kaylee Sweezy, catcher for Heritage, as she dishes the throw to first. So the Coyotes, very quick, and I imagine it'll stay that way. Harper gets called for the strike. Counts now 1-1. Thompson at first. Harper at bat for the Lady Cats, and she whiffs on the off-speed pitch. So Harp now behind in the count, 1-2. In danger of striking out. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Harper, and swings and misses.
Up next for Sulphur
So add yet another one
Reagan
to Jensen Hall's total. Well over 800 strikeouts this year. Hall taking on Reese Reagan. And Reagan tries to make contact with the rise ball, but she cannot do so. It is an 0-1 count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Reagan sends it beautifully into the dirt. The throw is there in time to first, but Thompson does advance to second.
Sulphur Springs will be number 12, Crimson Bryant.
So a ground out for Reese Reagan. And now, Lady Cats down to their final out in their first at bat. 2 outs on the board. Thompson, leadoff hitter for the Lady Cats, is at second. So if they could even bring Thompson home, that would be big. Bryant whiffs in a big way against Henson's changeup. Bryant now behind the count, 0-1. So Hall delivers the 0-1 pitch to Bryant and swings and misses on that one too. Coach Carrillo just telling Bryant to stick with it. Don't get too aggressive. Don't get ahead of yourself. Swing on the pitch that you like. Here's the 0-2 pitch, though, and gets her swinging for a 3-pitch strikeout of Crimson Bryant. So now we head to the second inning.
We're now heading to the top of the second.
The Heritage Coyotes lead 2-0. We'll be back shortly. Let's do another 3.
Batting first for Heritage will be number 15, Allie Luzar.
Perfect timing, James Terry, and welcome back to Lady Cat Park as we head to the second inning where your Lady Cats trail to the Heritage Coyotes in a warm-up playoff game 2-0. No doubt this is the stiffest competition the Lady Cats have played all year. Well, maybe not all year long, but definitely since before district play began. In fact, the last time the Lady Cats lost was to Bullard on Tuesday, March 14th, so over a full calendar month ago. That was to the number 1 team in Bullard. Still down in 4A, so as the Lady Cats hope to make a deep playoff run, they will more than likely run into them at some point. But for now, these Lady Cats have to find some kind of response for what Heritage did in that first inning. Bryant definitely settled down as she is now ahead in the count 1-2 against the respective batter. That's Allie Lazar. And gets her swinging for the 4-pitch strikeout.
Up next for Heritage will be number 2, Madison Young.
So, Maddie Young, left fielder for the Coyotes, steps up now. She's batter number 2 here in the second inning. Brian does a really nice job of getting that rise ball by Young. Madison Young now behind the count a big way, 0-2. So it looks like Bryant maybe had some early nerves here in this one, but looks to be that since then those have died down as Bryant picks up another strikeout.
Up next for Heritage is number 9, Natalie Lopez.
So that's now 2 straight here in this inning and 4 dating back to the first inning. She now has 5 strikeouts here. That's one great thing about Crimson Bryant is just like so many aces. She's so good at recovering. And boy, has she recovered well. Again, 4 straight strikeouts dating back to the first inning. 2 straight here in this one. And Natalie Lopez is behind the count 0-1. Just as I said that, Bryant delivers her first ball and, well, 6 pitches, so 1-1 the count. And once again, gets her to whiff. The lefty for Heritage, Natalie Lopez, behind the count. A big way, 1-2, 2 outs, no runners on for Heritage. Bryant looks to get the strikeout. No, it won't come on that one. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Heritage, and gets her swinging for a 5th straight strikeout for Crimson Bryant. As I talked about going into this one, it has now become something of a pitcher's duel. We'll see if it continues into the bottom of the second. When we return, Heritage leads over the Lady Cats 2-0. Go.
Up first for Sulphur Springs will be number 18, Nicole Higgins.
And welcome back to Lady Cat Park. We enter the bottom of the second. Your Lady Cats trail 2-0 in their playoff warm-up game to Frisco Heritage. We've got a pitcher's duel here as Heritage was able to take advantage of some early nerves and mistakes committed by the Lady Cats to lead 2-0. But since then, it's been kind of a strikeout frenzy. Bryant has thrown 5 straight strikeouts and really 6 of 7 batters. And equally impressive on the other end for Jensen Hall in the circle for the Coyotes. She did walk one, but then got 2 strikeouts against Jaden Harper and Crimson Bryant. Bryant struck out in 3 straight pitches, and Reese Reagan grounded out. So Thompson sends one, and the second baseman, Allie Lazar, can't come up with it.
Up next for Sulphur
Higgins.
Springs, number 7, Baylor Boatman.
Picks up the first hit for your Lady Cats here tonight. And it's a leadoff hit at that here in the second. Now batting is Baylor Boatman. Bowman been filling in for Tia Nash since her injury. Can't say exactly when that was, but she do be out. And from the way they spoke about it on senior night, it looks like it'll be that way for the remainder of the season. And Boatman bites on the off-speed pitch. It evens the count, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Baylor Boatman. Boatman swings and misses for what's now strike number 2. Now the Lady Cats in danger of picking up their first out here in the bottom of the second. They trail 2-0, runner on at first for Sulphur Springs. And that one is outside. Great eye discipline by the third baseman Boatman to let that pitch just scream by her on the opposite side of the zone. The count's 2-2. Here's the pitch. Ooh. And got caught swinging on a pitch that was well inside to the righty, and Bowman has struck out. So now, stepping up is Gracie Adair. Adair takes strike one looking. Adair came up huge in that senior night win a week ago over Pleasant Grove. That 10-0, 10-run rule victory. Adair tries to bunt it back, and she fouls it back into the net. But Adair came up with a grand slam a week ago in that win over Pleasant Grove. And they're going to look to rely on her and her big bat going forward. However, she trails in the count 0-2, one out, runner on at first. Here's the pitch. Gets her swinging. So make that another strikeout.
Number 6, KK Montgomery.
For Jensen Hall. That is now her fourth here as the Lady Cats. And I should say it's her fourth strikeout in over the course of 5 outs. So the Lady Cats have gotten one hit, as we previously mentioned, from Nicole Higgins leading off this inning. But other than that, it's been a walk of Emerson Thompson, a ground out, and like I said, 4 strikeouts. KK Montgomery going to look to avoid being yet another strikeout for Hall. And that pitch narrowly missed the zone. Kind of surprised it was called ball, but we'll take it here. It's a 2-0 count. And that one inside and down. So Montgomery just enjoying this at-bat as she leads in a huge way, 3-0. Hall, though, going to make some adjustments. We'll see how it comes on this one. Over. Well, it didn't really matter as Montgomery was walked. About to say
number 5,
Higgins started to take off towards second, but didn't really matter as Montgomery has been walked. It's the second walk here for Jensen Hall in this game. She walked one against Emerson Thompson leading off in the first, and now to KK Montgomery just a moment ago. Stepping up to bat now is not, in fact, Anahi Velasquez. It's Abby Goldsmith. Goldsmith is behind in the count 0-2. 2 outs, runners on at first and second. Lady Cats going to look to not strand those runners. Here's the pitch. And that one is outside from the lefty. Some more good discipline from the Lady Cats on that one, but it's a 1-2 count. 2 outs, and she fouls it. Bit of a blooper beyond the left field line. No question, that was in foul territory. Counts now 1-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And that's called strike 3, so that will strand 2 runners as Heritage
Score after 2, Heritage 2
is able to strand some runners, and we head now to the third inning where Frisco Heritage still leads 2-0. 3 more, please.
Batting first for Heritage will be number 51, Jensen Hall.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park here. You're listening to KSST Radio as we bring you Lady Cats softball. However, in their playoff warm-up game, they trailed to an equally talented Frisco Heritage program, 2-0. Both these teams with 24-4 wins and losses, but Heritage has a tie as well. Leading off here in this third inning is Jensen Hall. Hall on her first pitch takes a ball, but then on the second is delivered a strike. Bryant has even the count 1-1. And that one's in the dirt. That'll make it ball 2. So I don't think we've really discussed it, but Lady Cats softball are set for the playoffs after tonight's game here at Lady Cat Park. Again, playing Frisco Heritage, but Hall takes another strike. It's an even 2-2 count for her now, leading off in this third inning. But next week, Lindale is the opponent for Sulphur Springs softball in the by-district round or opening round. Bryant delivers a crack of a pitch, but Hall beautifully puts it over the head of the third baseman, and the throw from Higgins cuts her off there. However, Hall is now 2 for 2 against Crimson Bryant. 2 singles at that. So Bryant and the Lady Cats may have gotten a little too used to just pile driving the competition. And now we're seeing what the playoffs are going to look like. Maybe not here in this first round, but definitely after the second round. It's only going to get tougher and tougher. And if you don't believe me that the second round and further just gets tough, ask last year's Lady Cats, who had hopes to either match a 4th round run the year before or do better than that. And I'll be honest, I thought they were going to do better than that. I was fully expecting a state run last year. And then that fateful day in Grand Saline against Red Oak came. The Lady Cats won game 1 in that 3-game series, but had to play back-to-back at Grand Saline. I believe that was that following Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And then they dropped both of those to end their season. So definitely not the way they wanted it, but here is a fly out. Reagan waving everyone off, and she picks up the out.
Up next for Heritage is number 10, Maddie Garza.
So that's on a Van Meter with the fly out. And now, that is out number 1 here in this third inning. Pitches inside. The throw to second is not there. Thompson can't field it. Admittedly, probably wasn't the best throw in the world from Abby Goldsmith, but it was a decent throw. I'll give her that. However, here in this third inning. Heritage already leads 2-0, and with one out, they have a runner in scoring position. A big ol' whiff by Maddie Garza. She now falls behind the count 0-2. Or sorry, now 1-1. Nope. It was indeed 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside and away from the righty. Garza faces a 1-2 count. And that rise ball did exactly that, rising over the plate for what is now an even 2-2 count. One out, runner still on at second for Heritage. They lead 2-0. Going to look to widen that margin a little bit here in this third inning, but it won't come on this batter as Maddie Garza strikes out. That is now her second strikeout here against Bryant, and Crimson now has 7 here in this one. Since giving up 2 runs in that first inning, Bryant has recovered in a big way. Hall, with those long legs and what has to be an equally long stride, takes about 3 steps, and she's a quarter of the way to third. So no doubt the Lady Cats are keeping a close eye on her in scoring position. And there's what the Lady Cats were hoping was a fly out, but instead it flies over the safety net behind home plate and onto the ceiling at Lady Cat Park. Foul ball. Counts now 0-2. 2 outs. Hall for Heritage still on at second. The Coyotes lead 2-0. And Bryant gets her swinging for the strikeout. So 2 straight strikeouts thrown by Crimson Bryant, and now we head to the bottom of the third. Your Lady Cats still trail, though, 2-0. We'll be back. Beautiful.
First at bat for Sulphur Springs is number 15, Emerson Thompson.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park. You're listening to KSST Radio as we bring you Sulphur Springs softball. Lady Cats, though, trail 2-0 here at home in their playoff warm-up game to Frisco Heritage. Lady Cats back up to bat, though. Leading off is the leadoff batter here for not only almost all district play, but for a vast majority of the season in Emerson Thompson. The shortstop takes ball 1 on her first pitch. And that one is low and outside. Make it a 2-0 ball lead in favor of Thompson. However, in the third pitch she gets, Thompson takes her first strike. Counts now 2-1. And Thompson, who just a moment ago was leading in a big way 2-0, has since received 2 straight strikes from Jensen Hall. And now it's an even 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. High over the zone. Make that ball 3. And it becomes a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs for leadoff hitter Emerson Thompson. And that one is, whoa. Thompson started heading off to first like she was expecting to walk. And
Springs is number 8, Jaden Harper.
Home up. Took him a second, but then he decided to call the strikeout, so Thompson is out. Tom O'Brien, head coach for Heritage, going to have a word with his starting pitcher. A brief discussion, but O'Brien heads back to the visitors' dugout.
Number 8, Jaden Harper.
And now batting for the Lady Cats here in the bottom of the third is Jaden Harper. So Bryant has been very good. She now has, let's see, that's 8 strikeouts here. Yep. But on the other end, it's been equally as impressive. 6 for Jensen Hall, and that's only through 2 innings. So she has a chance to match that, if not surpass it. Triple ones on the scoreboard here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No runners on for the Lady Cats. Harp can't make contact with the breaking ball. She now falls behind in the count, 1-2, in danger of becoming the second out here in the bottom of the third. And it is so. Harp strikes out.
Batting next for Sulphur Springs is number 20, Reese Reagan.
And now, stepping up, batting the 3-hole is Reese Reagan. She steps up with no runners on and 2 outs. And she whiffs on the off-speed pitch on the first one she gets. She falls behind the count, 0-1. 0-1's count. And that one is outside from the righty. Reagan is 0 for 1 here up to this point. She grounded out in the first inning, and now, oof, somehow that one stays inside the zone. I really don't know about that one. Well, Reagan now behind the count, 1-2, 2 outs, no runners on for the Lady Cats. And a crack of the bat on a line drive to center field. Reagan advances to first. So the Lady Cats
Sulphur Springs is number 12, Crimson Bryant.
don't go in 1-2-3 fashion here in this third inning. We'll see what Bryant can do. Bat and cleanup as she has done most of this season. She struck out in 3 pitches though last time around. So no doubt she's going to be hoping for better results. And the Lady Cats could really use a run right about now if they hope to get back in this one. Bryant takes strike 1. Oh, 1 is count for pitcher Crimson Bryant, and Bryant takes strike 2 on another one that looked curiously inside towards the righty. But 0-2's count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And Bryant is struck out in 3 pitches. So that will once again retire the sides, as Bryant is the 3rd strikeout in 4 batters for Jensen Hall in the inning. So now we head to the 4th, where your Lady Cats still trail 2-0. We'll be back. All righty.
Two, three. 1, 2,
15 seconds. 10 seconds.
Batting first for Heritage will be number 23, Kylie Sweezy.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park. You're listening to KSST Radio as we not only bring you a radio broadcast of this playoff warm-up game, we also bring you our YouTube live stream and one of our final sports live streams of the year, folks. I can't believe it's already this time, but we are down to, yes, our last of two. So tonight here in this playoff warm-up game, and then Tuesday, Wildcats baseball hosts North Lamar. And that's it for live streams from KSST Radio Sports this year. We'll still be following Lady Cats softball, and should they potentially make it Wildcats baseball as well through their playoff runs. But those will be only radio broadcasts. As Bryant here in the fourth inning
Next for Heritage is number 11, Allie Crow.
leads off with a strikeout. Comes against Kaylee Sweezy, the catcher for Heritage. But I don't know that I really even spoke about what's next for Lady Cats. So, as I previously mentioned, in the opening round, they play Lindale. The Lady Cats, as many of you already know, are district champs, so they are the number 1 seed. As a result, they take on a 4 seed from their corresponding district, I suppose you could say. So that has them playing number 4 Lindale, just like the men's basketball team played in the opening round. But unlike men's basketball team, which I believe that one opened in Forney, as Bryant gets another strikeout.
15, Allie Luzar.
But of course, the first round series for softball is a best of 3, so you have to win 2 to move on. And game 1 is next Wednesday. That's at Emory Rains. So in Emory at Rains High School at 6:30 p.m. That's next Wednesday. Trying to do some quick maths. I want to say Tuesday's the 25th, so that's the day we're covering Wildcats baseball when they host North Lamar. But the following day, that should be, I believe, yes, the 26th. I will be out there, and James Terry will be out there joining me, doing some color commentary as we cover game 1. Oh, there's a towering ball to shallow right field, and this time Kinley Friddle can make the play.
Now heading to the bottom.
That will retire the side, so I'll talk more about round 1 of the playoffs when we return, heading into the bottom of the 4th. Your Lady Cats still trail 2-0. Beautiful.
Batting first for Sulphur Springs is number 18, Nicole Higgins.
Welcome back to KSST Radio as we bring you Lady Cat softball here on their home field, but they trail in their playoff warm-up game to Heritage 2-0, entering the bottom of the fourth, so time is quickly running out for the Lady Cats. Nicole Higgins leading off here in the bottom of the fourth. On the first pitch she gets, sends it back into the safety net. It's a 0-1 count. And Higgins can't make contact on the rise ball on the second pitch she gets, so she falls behind 0-2. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Higgins once again fouls it back. It remains an 0-2 pitch, or an 0-2 count for the left fielder for Sulphur Springs, Nicole Higgins. The Lady Cats haven't had a whole lot of instances like the game being played out here before them. Lady Cats crushed their way through the competition. And now the real test begins. This playoff warm-up game is a great taste of what's to come as Higgins strikes out.
Up next for Sulphur Springs is number 7, Baylor Boatman.
And that's something I kind of worried about. And something Coach Carrillo even said heading into the season. He even knew in the months leading up to the start of the season that the Lady Cats weren't really going to be tested a whole lot through district play. So Coach had to kind of get a little creative, scheduling some opponents so that the Lady Cats don't use a lot of perhaps natural ability to let them affect their ego, their attitude, and, you know, not be set for the playoffs. Baylor Bowman faces an even count, 1-1. Bowman takes a 1-1 pitch that falls low below the zone. Comes 2-1. Two on the count. One out. Pitch on the way. Boatman takes strike 2. It's an even 2-2 count now. Still one out. No runners on for the Lady Cats here in the bottom of the fourth. They trail 2-0 to Frisco Heritage. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And Bowman is called for the strikeout.
Batting next,
she is now 0 for 2.
33, Gracie Adair.
So Jensen Halls just keeps adding to her strikeout totals. She has over 800 coming into this one. And, well, she is almost hit 10. And we haven't even hit 4 innings. Adair takes strike 1. But something I was kind of talking about before we went to a break, and we might be going back to another one here soon as there are 2 outs. Adair takes strike 2. She's behind the count 0-2. But yes, Lady Cats softball plays Lindale in by district or round 1 beginning next Wednesday at Rains High School in Emory, or at Emory. Yes, at Rains High School in Emory.
Now heading to the top of the 5th.
And game 2 is on Friday, but again, more on that to come. When we return from a commercial break, we head to the 5th inning. Your Lady Cats still trail 2-0. Let's do another thaw. here to Lady Cat Park as Sulphur Springs trails in a playoff warm-up game to Frisco Heritage 2-0. Both of these teams with 24 wins, both teams with 4 losses, but Heritage has a tie to their name. So very similar. So similar that both teams strut out ultimate ace pitchers. For Bryant, getting strikeout number 1,000 a week ago and just adding on to that total since. And for Jensen Hall for Heritage, she has over 800 and 260 this year, but that's almost up to 270 now. Bryant back in the circle though for her team in the top of the 5th. Heritage has this 5th inning and 2 more in the 6th and 7th to potentially add on to their lead, but the way this game has played out since that 1st inning when Heritage was able to get the lone score, it's been lights out pitching duel. But
Next for Heritage is number 9, Natalie Lopez.
Madison Young, leadoff pitcher, or leadoff batter here in the 5th, my apologies, was hit by a pitch from Crimson Bryant. That is now the 2nd player hit by a pitch in this one. 1 in the 1st inning and now 1 in the 5th. So Bryant, after hitting left fielder Madison Young on a pitch, takes on first baseman Natalie Young. And that one is just able to sneak into the corner of the zone. That'll be strike 1. And gets her to whiff on the 2nd pitch she gets. So now, number 9 for Heritage falls behind a big way, 0-2. High over the zone. Good job avoiding what might have been a potential hit by pitch from Natalie Lopez. But she can't avoid a strikeout at the hands of Crimson Bryant.
Batting next for Heritage is number 51, Jensen Hall.
So, Bryant hits a batter, Madison Young, to lead off this 5th inning, but then she picks up the strikeout of Natalie Lopez, but she'll see what she can do against Jensen Hall as the lineup turns over. Hall is 2 for 2 against Bryant, so the star pitcher for the Coyotes, who I mentioned has thrown over 800 strikeouts this year, is 2 for 2 against the Lady Cat star pitcher. Hall takes strike 1. Evens count at 1-1. She still has a runner on at first in Madison Young. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High and away from the lefty. Bryant set for the 2-1 pitch. And Hall with a bit of a blooper. The throw to second is there, so they will pick off the leading runner. Great job there by the Lady Cat interior defense.
Up next for Heritage is number 5, Anna Van Meter.
So Hall does reach first on a fielder's choice. Stepping up to bat now is the shortstop, Anna Van Meter. Van Meter hits it straight to Adair. The throw to first is there, and Reagan has her foot on the base, so that will do it.
Now heading to the bottom of the 5th.
And yes, as you may just heard, we head to the bottom of the 5th. Your Lady Cats still trail, though, 2-0. We'll be right back.
Now to the field.
3 more, please. You're a bad man, James Terry. Really?
That is in itself a challenge.
Oh boy, yeah. I just did front of house working, so sitting people to their tables, doing a little bit of cleaning up, But yeah, each time a waiter kind of got on my case, I was just kind of like, they're a waiter. You just kind of have to remind yourself they go through it.
Batting first for Sulphur Springs will be number 6, KK Montgomery.
Welcome back out to Lady Cats Park. You're listening to KSST Radio as we bring you our final live stream of Lady Cats softball during the 2022-23 academic school year. We still have one more live stream coming up on Tuesday when Wildcats baseball plays in their second to last home game when they host North Lamar. However, we won't be able to cover their senior night game a week from Friday, as we will be covering Lady Cats softball in Game 2 of their bi-district series with Lindale. So I mentioned, again, Game 1 is next Wednesday. That's the 26th. That's in Emory at Rains High School. That's Game 1 against Lindale at 6:30 p.m. Friday, however, is Game 2, and that comes in Commerce. And spoke with Coach David Grillo yesterday, and he said Commerce, although admittedly I didn't write down if that was Commerce High School or A&M Commerce, but I can tell you it's in Commerce next Friday, and Game 3, if necessary, is the following day at 10 a.m., also in Commerce. So that's a week from tomorrow, Game 3 if necessary. But me and James Terry will be out on Wednesday in Emory at Rains High School covering Game 1 of the bi-district series. However, I unfortunately have a previous engagement that prevents me from doing Game 2 for that bi-district series. But we will definitely have someone there to cover that one. If not, assuming the Lady Cats take care of business as they are prone to do in the playoffs, especially in round 1, then I will, with certainty, be back with Lady Cats softball the rest of the way. Just unfortunately have to miss out on Game 2 by district next Friday. But again, we will more than likely have someone there. Excited to begin the playoff push. But here in the bottom of the 5th, Lady Cats trail 2-0. KK Montgomery struck out. Now batting is Abby Goldsmith. She is ahead in the count, 2-1. 1 out, no runners on for Sulphur Springs. And big swing and a miss there from Goldsmith. Catcher here tonight faces an even 2-ball, 2-strike count. Once again, no runners on and 1 out. And that one just sneaks outside of the zone on the pitch from Jensen Hall. Reagan faces a full count. Three balls and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. And gets her swinging on the full count pitch. Goldsmith now is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Number 15, Emerson Thompson.
And Jensen Hall just seems to be continuing to improve here in this one, as if me talking about her 800 total strikeouts in her high school career wasn't enough. She as I mentioned, she gave up a leadoff walk in the first inning, another walk in the second inning. But other than that, it's been kind of strikeout city. 2 singles given up in the second and third inning, but other than that, it's 1, 2, 5, 8, 11, now 13 strikeouts. So she is out dueling Crimson Bryant here in this one. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Thompson. Now as the lineup turns over, she signals for a bunt, but it goes right past her for strike number 2. So she is in a big 0-2 hole with 2 outs and no runners on for Sulphur Springs. The Lady Cats look to be down to their final swing here. Thompson is more than willing to take one looking on one that's called just outside the zone. However, it's still a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch, and she does make contact. So she stays alive. Hall with 13 strikeouts here in this game. In this playoff tune-up, looking to pick up number 14 to send the Lady Cats back into the 6th inning. And yes, it will be on that pitch. So Thompson is now 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. She did walk in her first at-bat, but other than that, and really, that's about all there is to write home. The Lady Cats with 2 singles and a walk besides the one I mentioned of Thompson. But other than that, we head now to the 6th inning where your Lady Cats still trail 2-0. Ooh.
You're right, this game is going fast.
I know, after that first inning when Bryant gave up those 2 runs, I mean, other than that, it's just screamed by. I mean, shoot, take that one out, and this game would be 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Batting first for Heritage will be number 10, Maddie Garza.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park. You're listening and watching KSSD Radio's live stream broadcast of Lady Cats softball. It's their playoff warm-up game, and what a warm-up this is as Bryant picks up a fly out that went straight to her.
Batting next for Heritage is number 4.
That one was
Sam
from
Riley.
Maddie Garza here in the 6th inning. Oop, put that in the wrong inning. Fly out to the pitcher. Okay, so that's Maddie Garza. Now stepping up is Sam Riley, the third baseman. She did get a triple in her first at-bat, which is what gave the Lady Coyotes their 2 runs in the first inning. But since then, she struck out in the third. Going to look to avoid a similar at-bat here. Straight to Gracie Adair. The throw to first is there in time for a quick second out. So fly out and a ground out.
Is number 23, Kaylee Sweezy.
Great throw from third baseman Gracie Adair to Reese Reagan at first. 2 straight plays made by Reagan. Good job touching the base. So 2 outs for Heritage here in what is their very likely to be their second to last at-bat here in the top of the 6th. Softball, for those who may not know, only goes to 7 innings at the high school level. And so, the way this game is being played out right now, the Lady Cats might pick up their first loss in, well, 5 weeks. But as the men's basketball team learned when they played Lindale and By District, sometimes you need to play a really well-coached team and a talented team at that to kind of remind you that even if you do cruise through district like that men's basketball team did, you know, the second you hit the playoffs, the competition ramps up exponentially, and it only continues to grow exponentially in terms of competition as each round goes further and further into the playoffs. So it's good for the Lady Cats to maybe get a loss out of their system, you know. Don't want to be cruising into the playoffs with too high of an ego. who knows? Heritage could, after what looks to be a potential win for them here tonight at Lady Cat Park, they could have a slow start in Game 1 of their by-district series. It's just the name of the game. But yeah, I think if this does end up being a loss, again, as it looks to be right now, the Lady Cats maybe going to pick up their final out here from Kinley Friddle. Yes. Oh. Takes her a second. She tumbles to the ground, but she does pick up the ground, fly out. So we will head to the bottom of the 6th. Your Lady Cats still trail 2-0, looking to rebound here in their final 2 at-bats. We'll be back. Beautiful. Oh boy. Welcome back to Lady Cat Park as KSST Radio brings you Lady Cats softball in their playoff warm-up game, where they trail to an equally impressive program in Frisco Heritage 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 6th. So I mentioned Lady Cats softball and what comes up next for them in terms of by-district. Again, next Wednesday in Emory at Rains High School. And that is the... Yes, that's next Wednesday. That's the 26th. That sounds right. And Game 2 comes 2 days later, a week from today, on Friday, April 28th, and that's in Commerce. Again, don't quite know if that's at A&M Commerce or Commerce High School, but...
Up next for Sulphur Springs is number 20.
So that's when Game 2 is. We will hopefully be there. Again, I will not be able to broadcast that game as I have a pre-existing arrangement going on. So I'll be out of town, but yes, more than again, we will be at that one. So just wanted to triple check, and that's at Commerce High School. So not at A&M Commerce, again, at Commerce High School. Home of the Tigers and Lady Tigers. So it's a week from today. Friday is Game 2. I won't be there, but we'll hopefully have someone there. And then the following day is Saturday, Game 3, as Reese Reagan sends a live drive straight down Broadway. And then, yes, next Saturday, Commerce, a week from tomorrow, at 10 a.m. is Game 3, if necessary.
Batting next for Sulphur Springs is number 12, Crimson Bryant.
Now stepping up is Bryant. Reagan just a moment ago. Hit a
sub on first, it's number 3, Dottie Smith.
Line drive to center field. Reagan is now 2 for 3. So she is the hitting leader for the Lady Cats. Nicole Higgins had a single as well, but Reagan, again, now 2 for 3. So she is a courtesy runner for her at first, and Dottie Smith and Bryant no longer trying to swing for the fences. She is signaling for a bunt, so if she can't make some kind of good contact, maybe an extra base hit. It's looking like they're just trying to advance the runner, and Dottie Smith at first. Bryant faces an 0-1 count, and Now it's a second straight strike. An 0-2 count. Bryant in danger of striking out now. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Crimson Bryant. Gets her swinging. And Smith is safe at first.
Up next for Sulphur Springs is number 18, Nicole Higgins.
So something you can't say a lot through the course of the season. Crimson Bryant is 0 for 3 here with 3 strikeouts. So I mentioned over the course of our 2 district games that we live streamed that Lady Cats softball and Bryant have been hitting very well. I've mentioned that hitting 300 puts you into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame with the Lady Cats. They have maybe 2 on a possible 12, 13, maybe 14 batters that have not hit under 500, so they are just hitting lights out. But now you're starting to see some 0 for 1s, 0 for 2s as Higgins sends it into deep left field. The catch is there, and that will retire the sides.
Now heading to the top of the 7th.
Now we're starting to get a little better
Heritage 2.
idea of what the playoffs are going to look like. We head now to the final inning. Your Lady Cats trail 2-0 as we head to the 7th. We'll be right back. Boy, howdy.
Yes, not. Play left. That was your money. That's your money.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park, folks, where we are already entering the 7th inning of a game that teed off probably a few minutes after 6. And just over an hour later, this game has already reached its final inning. We head to the 7th inning. Your Lady Cats still trail 2-0, as they have since the first at-bat for either team. And since the Heritage Coyotes were able to get that 2-0 lead thanks to some timely hits and a few errors, this game has just screamed by us.
First to start the 7th inning will be a number 11, Allie Crow.
Can't even say a bullet train moves as fast as this game. I mean, we're talking like the 250, 300 mile per hour super bullet trains that Japan has. This game has just screamed by us. And now we won't get to cover Lady Cats softball after this inning until next Wednesday when they are in bi-district playing Lindale. I'll mention this again in post-game, but Game 1 is next Wednesday, April 26th, in Emory at Rains High School, 6:30 p.m. I will be there. James Terry will be there doing color for me. But then Friday, so a week from today, April 28th, Game 2 of the bi-district series with Lindale is played at Commerce High School at 6 p.m. I will unfortunately not be able to make that one due to a pre-existing event that I'm committed to go to, but we will more than likely have someone there to cover that. And then Game 3, if necessary, again, best of 3, so you only need 2 wins, but if necessary, Game 3 will be played in Commerce at Commerce High School Saturday, a week from tomorrow, the 29th at 10 a.m. Every game, every series after that, I will be with Lady Cats the rest of the way, just had it all planned out. Our videographer, Matt Jansen, and on the other end, James Terry can tell you. You know, I probably almost 2 months ago at this point sent out a schedule that was like, all right, here is the rest of the schedule, the rest of the way. Here's what I think it will look like. And it was honestly pretty dang accurate. I think I even said it was about 83% accurate in the email. But one thing I did not plan for was a last-minute plan coming my way that I really couldn't miss as Bryant hits a batter.
Batting next for Heritage is number 17, Savannah Hunter.
So, we have got a substitute player coming in for Heritage. Un moment, por favor, while I look it up. It is 17. That's Savannah Hunter. Hunter steps up with their team leading 2-0 in a playoff warm-up game with Sulphur Springs. One runner on at first with one out. Heritage, though, in the 7th inning are down to their final at-bat to potentially extend this lead. Bryant delivers safe at first. It's an 0-2 count. Still one out. Here's the pitch. Gets her swinging for the strikeout. So Savannah Hunter.
Up next for Heritage,
0 for 1
number
now.
9, Natalie Lopez.
And I imagine that's the last we'll see of her. As the Lady Cats will be next up to bat. And they're what's more than likely going to be their final at-bat. They trail 2-0. And they will need to get 2 runs or more. Well, 2 runs to send it to extra innings, but they'll need 3 in the bottom of the 7th if they want to avoid that. Batting for the Coyotes is Natalie Lopez, first baseman. And the first 3 pitches she's gotten has taken 1 ball but 2 strikes. She's behind the count 1-2, 2 outs on the board. Bryant going to look to send the Coyotes back to their dugout, and she will do that.
We are now heading to the bottom of the 7th.
Getting the strikeout of Natalie Lopez, so we head to the bottom of the 7th. The potential final at-bat for Lady Cats softball as they look to rally late. They trail 2-0. We'll be back. Beautiful.
Sulphur Springs is number 7, Baylor.
Welcome back to Lady Cat Park. We now head to the final half inning of this playoff warm-up game. Your Lady Cats trail to the Frisco Heritage Coyotes 2-0. And what could very well be the first loss for Lady Cats softball in over a month. Baylor Bowman Swings and misses on the first pitch she gets, so she falls behind 0-1. More than willing to take that one. Outside and away, the righty. Great eye discipline there to pick up her first ball in the count. It evens it at 1-1. And Bowman swings and misses on the third pitch she gets, so now she's behind in a 1-2 hole. No outs, no runners on for Sulphur Springs. They still trail 2-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Boatman. Swings and misses for the strikeout.
Up next for Sulphur Springs,
Boatman
number
is 0 for 3 in this game. Now stepping up. And what could be the final 2 outs for Lady Cats softball. Gracie Adair steps up with 1 out on the board. And she takes strike 1 looking. Oh, 1's the count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's hugging it Adair inside. That'll be left of the zone for ball 1. A 1-1 count, 1 out for the Lady Cats. Adair doing a nice job of holding pat and not biting on a pitch she doesn't like. After getting strike 1, she's gotten 2 straight balls. And Adair fouls it away. Unfortunately for Adair, fouling it beyond the visitor's dugout makes it an even 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. And gets her swinging for a second straight strikeout thrown by Jensen Hall in the 7th inning.
6, KK Montgomery.
So Hall now looking to get 1 final out here for her team as they look to win the playoff warm-up game over Sulphur Springs here at Lady Cat Park. They lead 2-0 and have 2 outs against the Lady Cats in the bottom of the 7th. KK Montgomery takes ball 1. 1-0's count. Montgomery set for the pitch. Outside and away. The righty takes a second straight ball. She leads in the count, 2-0. The count. And Montgomery still holding pat. Great job by the righty. She leads in a huge way, 3-0. So if Hall was looking to get a strikeout against KK Montgomery to end this game, it's not going to come easily. Montgomery on the 4th pitch she gets the first strike in the count. She's still ahead, but now it's 3-1. Swings and misses for a second straight strike. It's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Lady Cats with 2 outs, trailing 2-0, could be down to their final strike. Here's the pitch. And that will send the Lady Cats packing. So Jensen Hall slices and dices the Lady Cats here in a playoff warm-up game as Frisco Heritage wins 2-0 over your Lady Cats softball team. So we're going to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors, but when we return, we'll have a quick post-game coming up.
And we wish the best of luck to both of these teams in their future playoff future. Thank you.
How are we doing sponsor-wise? Wow. 2. So why don't you give me 3? Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 2, 3. Welcome back to Lady Cat Park, where you've been enjoying Lady Cats softball in their playoff warm-up game taking on Frisco Heritage. You've been listening or watching KSST Radio as we've been live streaming Lady Cats softball, not only in this playoff warm-up game, but in 2 more district games, including senior night a week ago, and reporting on the team all along the way. And Lady Cats softball cruised through district play, but they kind of needed to come back down to earth a little bit after doing back-to-back undefeated district seasons, first in 5A last year, now in 4A this year, but this year they really weren't challenged a whole lot in district play, so that was something I wondered, kind of like with the men's basketball team that I kind of alluded to and spoke a little bit about earlier, is that when you have a lot of talent, a lot of natural talent, but you kind of cruise through it, you know, at some point or another, you're going to kind of get a little shocked when you come up against someone who is just as talented, just as good, if not maybe a little bit better. So I think this loss was definitely needed for Lady Cats softball. It's only the 5th on the year, and the first, let me make sure I've got the date right. So it's the first loss for Lady Cats softball since middle of March 14th, when they lost right here at Lady Cat Park to Bullard 6-1. So Lady Cats softball probably needed this loss to kind of have something to work on going into the playoffs, because you know you don't want to be too confident heading into the postseason. Ask the 2011 Green Bay Packers what happens when you cruise through the regular season and maybe take a playoff opponent as not as seriously as you should. But Lady Cat softball falls here to a very, very talented Frisco Heritage team. Both teams had only 3 hits in 7 full innings. The Lady Cats were walked twice by Jensen Hall, but 3 Lady Coyote batters were hit by a Crimson Bryant pitch. And just to again show you just how similar these teams are, the Lady Cats were struck out 18 times by Jensen Hall, and Bryant struck out 14 batters for Heritage. So very, very good matchup for these Lady Cats, and again, a great reminder that there is nothing given. You have to go out and perform each and every day, and importantly, it's not going to be the same as district. You know, the whole team isn't going to be batting dang near 3 for 4. You know, it's going to come down to timely hits and taking advantage of opportunities, and that's exactly what Frisco Heritage did in that first inning when they got a couple of 1 batter hit by a pitch and two hits, one of them being extra base, to give Heritage their 2-0 lead, and as a result, the win. So next up, Lady Cats softball begins the playoffs. They begin next Wednesday, that's April 26th, in Emory at Rains High School. They take on Lindale in the opening round, and that game tees off next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Me and James Terry will be there to broadcast that game. And then a week from today, on Friday, April 28th, is Game 2 of the Best of 3 series. That's at Commerce High School at 6 p.m. And Game 3, if necessary, is a week from tomorrow, April 29th, again at Commerce High School, but at 10 a.m. So the Lady Cats are going to look to win that game in 2 to avoid a quick turnaround game in Game 3. And last thing you want, as we learned last year, is to put all of your season hopes on a do-or-die playoff game. But again, Lady Cats softball falls 2-0 here to Frisco Heritage on Friday, April 21st. They're back in action starting Wednesday, April 26th, to begin by-district versus Lindale. Game 2 is a week from today on Friday, and Game 3, if necessary, is next Saturday. But we hope you've enjoyed KSST Radio's YouTube live streams of Lady Cats softball. We know it was only our 3rd, but the overlap this year was particularly challenging between all the sports teams, just trying to keep it fair for everyone. But don't worry, we'll be with Lady Cats softball the rest of the way throughout their playoff push, but it will be radio only. Our last YouTube live stream for a sporting event for the academic year 2022-23. This one is on Tuesday when we cover Wildcats baseball hosting North Lamar. So That's what's going on with us and KSST and really sports over the next week. We hope you've enjoyed listening. With your play-by-play, I'm Ross Lebinsky, your sports director of KSST Radio. Shooting video for us, not only for softball, but over the course of this year has been Matt Jansen. And special thanks as always to James Terry on the other end for making all the magic happen. Back to you, James.
Thank you, Ross and Matt. You ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to podcast Lady Cats Softball KSST, 12:38 in Silver Springs, Texas. We'll pick up with the Ranger broadcast after this message from UIL.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. Appreciate you doing this game on short notice.
You're very welcome. I like to do this kind of stuff, so hey.
Well, good. I'm glad. And do you want? I kind of started to think about this